By watching or listening to this show, you are acknowledging that you are of legal age to purchase and consume cannabis in your region. This production is for adults only.
Have you seen the Slash?
Made by users for users.
Engineered for flavor.
One of the coolest features around.
A built-in loading tool.
Learn more at www.stonesmiths.ca.
What's happening? We'll tell you right now on This Week in Cannabis News.
So this week, I am focusing on one particular story that I found on Reuters. And this is really, really concerning for me. We've talked a lot in this very segment with David Wylie about, what it could be happening within the United States as far as maybe federal legalization or the decriminalization. And what, Joe Biden's real stance is on this, because Joe Biden was not a positive person when it came to cannabis. And Kamala Harris brought that to his campaign and brought that to the White House and, by becoming the VP. And now we read this story from Reuters that the White House on Friday has fired 5 employees over marijuana use, even after announcing a more lenient policy towards use of the drug plant a few weeks ago. And White House Secretary Jen Psaki posted a tweet confirming the 5 removals after the Daily Beast reported that dozens of staffers had been suspended, asked to resign, or placed in a remote work program due to past marijuana use. Are they afraid it's contagious? Come on, reefer madness, White House. Quote, "We announced a few weeks ago that the White House had worked with the Security Service to update the policies to ensure that past marijuana use wouldn't automatically disqualify staff from serving in the White House." Continuing, quote, "The bottom line is this. Of the hundreds of people hired, only 5 people who had started working at the White House are no longer employed as a result of this policy." End quote. Oh, only 5. Is that the same as saying only X amount of people have died from COVID? Look how many people have lived. I mean, that's such an absurd statement. Now, one thing we should point out, and I should point out, is that we don't know what the 5 staffers' past indiscretions were, but I will just say this. I'm going to get more information on this story, obviously, as it develops and continues. But we need, as the public, and particularly to my American listeners and viewers, thank you very much for tuning in. But especially you guys need to hold Joe Biden to the same standards that everybody tried to hold Donald Trump to. Like, I'll freely admit, I try to stay away from a lot of politics, but on this show, you kind of have to, because we're talking about legislation and legalization and things like that. But I thought Donald Trump was an absolute tire fire. But I'm not just going to let Joe Biden off the hook because he's not Donald Trump. Joe Biden still has to live up to what he said he was going to do, whether that has to do with marijuana or anything else. So, the American people, please hold your president accountable with what he said. It is ridiculous that in 2021, people are still getting fired or, as was reported by the Daily Beast, suspended, asked to resign, or placed in remote work programs due to past marijuana use. Come on, man. That is absolutely ridiculous. So, please, hold the president accountable on this and many other things, because just because Joe Biden is not Donald Trump does not mean we have to let things slide. This is the president of the United States that said some things during the campaign, that campaigned on certain things, that told employees of the White House, the staff of the White House, certain things. And then this is something that happens. So please hold him accountable for many of the things that he has said and will still need to do to be a successful president. And, you know, I hope something happens with legalization, but this is not a good start. This is not a good start when the president is using past marijuana, whatever, I don't know what the severity are, as grounds for removing after telling people it would be much more lenient. And using the only 5, that's bull. That's only 5. It doesn't matter. Still 5 people no longer have a job because of their past use of a plant. Come on, man. It's absolutely weak stuff from the White House. And that's a wrap with Dean Millard on This Week in Cannabis News.
Check us out and follow us on social media at the Cannabis 101 on Twitter, at the Cannabis 101 podcast on Instagram, and at the Canna 101 podcast on Facebook. You can email us at cannabis101podcast@gmail.com.